On the profile interview segment this week, I will be speaking with the president of NUPENG. He will be sharing with us why it was important for them to actually present a case as a standard of application on behalf of the workers' union, following the ugly trend of casualization and precarious work conditions in the oil and gas sector. Take a listen. It's good to have you on the program.
Thank you for having me.
Good. A lot has been happening at the ILO conference, and your union, NUPENG, made the presentation at the standard application hearing today. I'd like to ask you, why do you think it's of utmost importance that NUPENG made a position here today?
It's disheartening to know that there's an ugly new trend labor employment in Nigeria, especially in oil and gas. And at our level, at our local level in Nigeria, we've tried, to handle it, in our own usual way of raising alarm. Minister of Labor will intervene, NPC will intervene, But we keep observing that we are not going anywhere. Rather, the multinationals, the IOCs, keep perpetuating these, anti-labor, vices. And we felt we need to add, another approach, because these IOCs, as we also know, they have businesses around the world. And it's not the way they are treating Nigerian workers in the same way they are treating others. So our question is that, why is it that we are not actually doing right? Is that our government is not providing, the necessary directive? Or why are the multinationals, continue to take advantage, of Nigerian workers in the oil and gas? So we felt it was necessary to also bring it, to this global level so that the worker also hear us out.
Okay, during your presentation, you made example of other countries and how they treat casual workers and contract staff. I would like you to explain to us how much does an average worker, a contract staff in the oil and gas sector earn, and how would you compare it globally?
Okay, in our own capacity, we've attended, several workshops, with other international participants, under the umbrella of industry oil. And during our interactions, we have had representatives from like Netherlands, Poland, express surprise that companies like Shell, or Chevron, will be treating Nigeria worker in that manner. It's because in their country that they almost pay the contract worker and the permanent worker the same amount. That's almost the same condition of service is applied to everybody. So long you are doing the same kind of job, that's what you get. So I don't understand why in the Nigerian context, all the companies decide to outsource all their jobs. They don't seem to have any core job anymore. We are even wellhead operations is contracted out. The contractor now will contract another contractor, and we are going to have like 5 chains of contractors for only one particular job. And that means we are impoverishing Nigerians. Our concern, not even just as a labor union, but for the future, of Nigerians and even the youth that today are leaving schools, that are not getting better jobs. I think this is a clarion call for everybody.
From your experience, I would like you to state in clear terms how much an average casual worker earns and how much an average casual worker in the global industry actually earns.
Those figures may not be at my fingertips right now, but what I know is that an average contract worker in Nigeria here is paid less to nothing. You can go, I'm sure you have brothers and sisters, that work in the oil and gas, that are contract workers. They are paid a minimum, let's say, an amount of like 50,000, 70,000 naira per month. That is somebody that working in the oil and gas sector.
Which is the core?
That is the core business of the IOCs. It's the core business of the IOCs.
And it's also one of the greatest source of income for the country.
In the country.
So that shows
and we're talking about a product that is so globally. It's not that the amount.
And you earn in dollars.
Yeah, exactly. It's not that, like the amount you sell oil in Nigeria is cheaper than the way it's sold in US, or in other places of the world. You understand? So why is the case of Nigeria different? That's the question I've come to ask them here at the ILO.
Okay, moving forward, I have observed that we also have lots of expatriates that come down to the oil and gas sector to actually do our jobs. Can you shed more light on this?
Honestly, that is even one very challenging area we also have. Yes, of course, those people are being brought down to come and even do the same job we are doing here. Of course, they are rated, along global standards. They don't even tell them because they are coming to Nigeria here. Apart from all the logistics that are involved, of such an expatriate coming over, with transportation, accommodation, and all that. Apart from that, their salary is also at par with their counterpart over the world. I challenge anybody to go, to go online and check what they are paid and compare it with what our Nigerians earn here. It's very disheartening. Disheartening that this thing continue to happen. And honestly, if it remain unchecked, then another slave labor camp would have been built in Nigeria.
I'm going to take you up on the right of workers to actually unionize and actually participate in union activities. From your presentation, you actually explained to us that contract workers are made to sign that they won't be part of NUPENG or any other union. Exactly. What's your take on this?
In fact, it has even gone to that extent. So as not to be called strike mongers, all agitating that the contractors must be employed. We decided, as recognized by conventional laws, that the worker can still be organized. We'll try to do that. Then again, they are also frustrating such unionization. Even where a worker has agreed that you identify a union, is also made, forced to sign that if he wants the job, then he must do away with union. We have such cases, we can prove them. That even workers are on the basis of, if you must need this job, then you must not join union. We have such cases all over the place. Cases where even after organizing a particular contractor workers, then after a while the contract expires, the condition in which they will give to that contractor is that, please, if you must regain this job, you must make sure that those workers either don't belong to union, or you change your company name so that we can give you the job and make sure workers. So at the end of it all, what has we all done wrong? You refuse to even give up permanent employment. And again, even on that contract basis, we said, okay, let's also have voice, to have in a collective bargaining agreement. And what you keep saying that we'd also have that right. And what is so provocative is that it is only in Nigeria this is happening. It's only in Nigeria this is happening. Because every time you hear NUPENG going on strike, we're not going on strike. It's for the benefit of some persons that are being shortchanged in the system. Which at the long run, not for only NUPENG benefit, but for the larger society.
So what do you think is the way forward? What do you think the government has to do? What do you think the employers of labor needs to do to ensure that there's a paradigm shift from this pattern?
I think government need to look into the method of employment in oil and gas. If they don't do that, in fact, they will get it. By the time they realize what is happening there, it will be too late. They need to look into what is going there. They need to compare what is also happening outside the Nigerian shores. How employments are done. How are these IOCs treating their employees outside Nigeria? They need to also look at that. So I'm not saying it must be exactly what they are paying people outside Nigeria. But the policies should be the same and should also be competitive. Not in Nigeria here, you give a particular contract and you allow that contract to run through 3 contractors. You have a particular job, you are allowed to run through three contractors. And most of those contractors, and those contractors, most of them are even portfolio contractors. Most of them don't even have offices.
Can you name the companies that
I will name
participate
them.
in that?
I can even tell you a situation where one of the ISO, we met one of the ISOs over a contractor ran away with the contract workers' benefits, and they also tell us that they don't know the whereabouts of that contractor. But you are the one that gave a job to that man. You know, all what they want to say, well, if you can't get your money, then go to court. Because they know that, you know, the court process will not be in the interest of the Nigerian worker. How much does a worker have to go to court with an IOC? You know, so of course, you were told that you name the I'm talking about the IOCs. I'm talking about Shell. I'm talking about Chevron, Mobil, Ajib. They are all indulged in it. And let me tell you one thing: because the IOCs believed that they have all what it takes to suppress the workers, even other companies that are also coming up to, you know, to also carry out such activities. Yeah, they're also taking along that side. You know, they're also taking that approach. So I don't know where we are going to, at what point we are going to get it right. But I know if we are going to get it right, then we must start doing something now.
Okay, moving forward, recently you briefed the press and you announced that you're giving the IOCs 21 days ultimatum to actually pay workers and actually desist from unfair labor practice. How through? Is there any updates? Is there anything coming up so far?
We have a strong feeling that there might be some intervention, you know, because what is happening today, I'm not sure it's in the interest of the government. You know, I also expect government to also intervene at this level. You know, because if it's a government that actually has the interests of the youths at heart, you know, there is one challenge before them. So the ultimatum, you know, is to actually raise a voice, you know, and let the world know, and let the country know, and let government know, and let the IOCs know that there is something they are doing wrong somewhere, and it's necessary they also call themselves to order.
Okay, so finally, how would you say the Ministry of Labour has been able to interfere in this situation? Would you say that the Ministry of Labour has been actively engaging these employers of labor? Is there anything you think that they can also do to ensure that workers are treated fairly?
To be fair to them, I'm sure they've tried their best, but I know they can do more. They can do more. Because what we observe is that, or rather what they keep telling us, their role is to advise. You know, and you know what that means. You know, you can advise somebody and that person might decide not to take your advice. So I think that is why these challenges, you know, continue to go on. So, but I think they should also change the approach of just advising. You know, there are a lot they can do. Like the contractors today that are employing these contract workers. Like I said, most of them are job portfolio, don't even have offices. And the law says, you know, they are supposed to have been licensed by the Ministry of Labour. You know, they are supposed to have gotten recruiter license before they employ Nigeria on a contract basis. You know, so when such a contractor runs away with terminal benefits and cannot be seen, then somebody has to be held responsible.
Yes.
But in this situation, we can't hold government responsible. We can't even hold the IOCs that gave them the job responsible. So who do we hold responsible? God. So that means we are leaving our feet in the hands of God. I know God is for us all, but I also know too that they also have a role to play.
Okay, I have to ask this other question. Looking at ILO and the activities that you've actually experienced, what's your thought towards the advocacy for decent work, especially when it comes to men and women in the workplace?
Yeah, I think that is the best way to go. To me, precarious work is inhuman, and any work that is led for a man or woman should be decent. Decent in wages, decent in services, and the way we also look up to ourselves. So I honestly agree with decent work, you know, among all sexes.
Okay, it's good to have you on the program. And that's all we can take on today's edition of the program. Join us next week for a fresh edition of the show. I am Sharon Ijason. Thanks for watching, and remember, live or create wealth.